Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale and I'm owner of Off the Beaded Path in North Carolina. For today's video, I'm going to show you guys a new technique. Not really new, but new to me. It's called 2-bead spiral stitch. And basically what we're going to be learning is a spiral stitch where we're only going to be adding 2 beads for each circle that we do. For today's video, it's super easy to learn the stitch. You're going to need a size 11 seed bead, a size 8 seed bead, and then I'm going to be making an actual pair of earrings for the video, which look like this. So if you want to do this one, you'll need a size 8 round as well as a set of ear hooks. Now, if you want to do the earring, the good thing about it is that it takes very little seed beads to do. So it's really fun to be able to use that little bit. It's a good way to use up extras that you may have left over from other projects. Now, I will tell you that something that I found while teaching other people at the store how to do this technique is that if you have a hard time using the 11s and the 8s to learn on, then bump up a size and use a size 8 in place of your size 11s and a size 6 in place of your size 8s. It'll make a bigger diameter spiral, but at the same time it may be easier for you to learn on, especially in the beginning, because with the little beads it's little and it's hard to hold on to and it's hard to get started. But once you get started, it's just, I mean, it's the same thing over and over and over. So get your materials together. I'm going to be using a 8-pound fire line. You can use a little thicker if you want to, but I would not recommend using a thinner fire line than an 8-pound because it won't have good stability. And then you can use a size 10 or a size 12 beading needle. So go ahead and get your materials together and we'll get started. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys the placement of your beads from my sample here. My gold, I used a galvanized gold, and this is my size 11. And you can see the shiny metallic between the red. Now the red is my size 8. So you see where the placement of the 8s are. So the spiral, you can kind of see how our spiral is going to work out. Now I also used my size 11s up here to make the loop for my earring. And then down here on the bottom, I call to use a size 8 round, but you can use anything or any shape that you think might look good with it. Completely up to you. Now, the good thing about this single spiral or double spiral is that what I'm doing is I'm going to take, this is the length I wanted my earring, but if you only want it this long or you want it longer, you know, you can do kind of what you want to. So that's the good thing about it. But to start, you need to thread your needle onto a 1-yard piece of fire line, and I threaded on a size 8 and a size 11 seed bead. Now I want to leave a long enough tail so that I can go back and have plenty of room to add the bead here at the bottom. So once I've left myself that room, I'm going to take my needle, and from the tail up, I'm going to come through the size 8, which would be the first bead that I added on. I'm going to hold it and pull the thread so that now I have my size 8 and my size 11. This is row 1, and I'll zoom in just a little bit to see if you can see it a little better. So this is row 1. Now when I get ready to do row 2, the first thing I'm going to do is pick up a size 11. I'm going to take the needle, come through the size 11 that I added in row 1. I'm going to pick up a size 8, and I'm going to go through the size 8 in row 1. Okay, now I'm done with row 1, which are these 2 beads right here. Row 2 is this 11 and this 8. Now every time at the end of the row you need to do step up. So this is row 1. So I'm going to step up through the first bead added in row 2, which would be my 11 right there. Now I'm only going to be working with beads from row 2. So I'm going to pick up one size 11 seed bead, This is my size 8 from row 2, so I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come through my size 8 from row 2. Then I'm going to pick up a size 8. This was the size 11 that I was exiting out of from row 2, which would be the last bead. So I'm going to come through the first size 11 there in my little set of 2 sticking up. So that is the end of the 3rd row. But now I have to step up. So I step up by going through the first 11 in row 3. I'm going to pick up one size 11. I'm going to come through the size 8 from row 3. I'm going to pick up a size 8 and I'm going to come through the bead, the size 11 here, from row 3, which would be the first bead that I started the row out with. So I'm going to go through that one and pull. Now what I kind of do is I try and keep my tension good and tight so that way I can have a good hold on it and it will be a nice tight stitch. I'm going to pick up an 11. Oh, nope, first I got to step up. Sorry guys. So I'm coming out here. And so I have to step up through my first 11 from row 4. Now I'm on row 5. So I'm going to pick up one size 11. I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come through the size 8 from my previous row here. Now I'm going to pick up a size 8 and I'm going to come through the size 11 from the previous row, which is the same 11 that I started out this row with. Now I need to step up, so I'm going to come through the first 11 from this row. Pick up an 11 and I'm going to come through the size 8 from this previous row. Pick up a size 8 and come through the 11 from the previous row, which would be the 11 that I started this row with. And I want to step up through the 11 that I added in this row. And I'm just going to continue doing this, picking up my size 11, going through the size 8 from my previous row, picking up a size 8, coming through the 11 from the previous row, which would be the one that I started the row with. Pull it, and then to step up, I'm going to come through the 11 that I just added to start this row. So now you can see my spiral is starting to take shape. I've already made a little sample here of the same color that I'm using so that you can kind of see the spiral. The colors that I chose are a little bit harder to see, but I wanted something that wouldn't stand out as much as the red and the gold did. I wanted it more of a single tone. So what you want to do is continue doing your single spiral stitch until you get the length that you want. So you guys keep going, and I'm going to go the length that I want for my other earring. Okay, so I did some length on my earring. Now, you can make the first one as long or as short as you want, like I said. I've already done one to the length that I wanted it to be, and you can see I finished it off. The best thing to do after you make your first one, if you're really nitpicky, you can actually count your size 8s and make sure you have the same amount on this earring and this one. But for me, preferably, I'm not a person of perfection. I think that beading is an art and it's not made to be perfect. So I basically line my pieces up and make sure they're about even, or as close as they possibly can be. And they are. They're very close. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on adding the loop to the earring. Now I want to add the loop to the last size 8 that I added. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch through my beads to come out of that one bead here. I made my loop on the earring 8 beads tall, and you can see here what kind of loop that actually puts when you get your ear hook on. So I'm going to pick up my 8 seed beads. 3. And I'm going to take my needle. The thread is coming out this way here from my 8. So I want to take and make a circle. So I'm going to come through the size 8 going this way, so that when I pull, my beads will now form a circle. And I'm going to go back through those same beads again to reinforce and kind of tighten them up, tighten that loop up. Now, once I've added my loop, then I'm going to go stitch through some beads and tie the tail, or tie this working thread off, because I'm done with it. So I'm going to do a couple of little knots. And then before I finish, I'm sure to thread through my beads so that I will not cut the knot. So I trim. So now the top of my earring is finished, and I'm ready to add the lower. So I'm going to take a little bit of a shorter nail, or a shorter nail. I'm going to take a little bit of a shorter needle here, just because I didn't leave too long of a tail. And I'm going to thread the needle. And sometimes you can get it the first time, and then sometimes you can't. That's alright. Now, when you started, your thread is coming out of your size 8 seed bead, and that's exactly where you want to add your bead. So I'm going to pick up my bead and one size 8 seed bead, or I'm sorry, size 11 seed bead. Get my numbers mixed up. So an 8mm and a size 11 seed bead. I'm going to skip the size 11 seed bead and come back through the size 8. And then I'm going to come here to the base, and I'm going to come back through the size 8 seed bead. I originally came out this way, so I'm going to come through this way. And then I'm going to pull so that it gets centered there to the bottom. Now I'm going to go ahead and reinforce. I'm going to go back through the 8mm, through the size 11 here on the end, through the 8mm, and then through the size 8 seed bead on the base again. Now I'm going to tie this off with a couple of half-hitch knots, and when I'm done, I'll have the finished earring. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today and learning a new technique. I love my new earrings. They're great for fall, spring, winter, whenever you want to wear them. And whether you love the technique or you didn't, it's just something new. And it's a very easy, quick work stitch. So it's fun. It's something new. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will have some kits available to do the earrings, as well as written directions on our Etsy site, which is listed at the bottom of the screen. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure and check back next week for a fabulous new project. I hope you guys have a blessed day.